Hi, I'm Michael, one of the staff here with YWAM Liverpool, and we thought it would be fun to bring you into our kitchen, our nice, wonderful kitchen. And I thought it'd be fun, why don't we cook a meal together? I can show you what very little I know, as I am not a certified chef or anything. And then at the end of this, there might be something else that I might want to share. But for now, we're gonna try and cook some teriyaki chicken skewers to be baked or grilled. Alright, so to get started, we get all of our ingredients ready. To make the sauce, we are going to need 6 tablespoons. I'm American, so unfortunately I'm going to do this the American way, sorry. 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of honey. We are also going to need 1 1/3 cup of soy sauce. This can be dark soy sauce, light soy sauce. I usually use light because it can already be a little bit salty. Once you add all those things together, you're also going to add about 2 teaspoons or so of some cornstarch, which will help thicken it up. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. There we go. And once everything gets combined, you can add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and you're going to just mix that into one saucepan. And you're just gonna heat it up. You're also gonna put in 2 tablespoons of water in order to, just help it out. And then you're gonna put it on the stove. You're gonna let it boil. Once it starts to boil and simmer, you're going to let it simmer just for a few minutes so everything kind of melts. You want to kind of stir it occasionally so that it doesn't burn at the bottom or that it doesn't stick, and you can kind of taste it as you go. The longer it kind of cooks, the more saltier it can become. I usually add a little bit more brown sugar, a little bit more honey to help balance that out, and I have found, again, I am no chef, but I have found if I add a little bit extra honey or brown sugar later on, then that can help make it a little bit sweeter. And so once the sauce has then simmered and everything's melted, you like how it tastes, then you set that aside, take it off the heat. You want it to cool down, and this can take a little bit of time, usually 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. And so but while that is cooling down, you can prep your vegetables, you can slice them. So you usually want bigger squares. Mine are going to be all different shapes and sizes, but that's okay. And so once everything gets cut, you place them in the bowls nice and neatly just to help them be organized. You want to dice your chicken, cut it up. You want it to be in kind of big squares, roughly about the same length or width as the vegetables that you've just cut. Again, I'm not a professional, so mine are going to be a little bit different shapes and sizes, but close to the same size. Once that's done, you're going to take the skewers at the beginning, which I forgot to mention. You're going to grab them out of the thing of water that they've been sitting in. If they're wood skewers, if they're metal, you didn't need to do that. And those are the ones that you'd use to put on a barbecue. Once you start assembling them, you get to create whatever pattern, however you like it. Sometimes I do some with a little bit more veg, a little less meat. Sometimes it's every other one. My wife doesn't care to have as much meat, so I give her more vegetables. And then, I've made a skewer with just all chicken before. So really how you want to do it. Once everything, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So once the sauce is made and you've cut up the chicken, you want to marinate the chicken in the cool down sauce. That's an important tip. You want to cool down or mix them, let the chicken marinate, get that flavor. And you can put the vegetables in there as well. You don't have to. I usually do it separately because then it just gets a little too messy. But so then you can assemble once the chicken has marinated. And then once it's marinated, put it on the pan with, I usually use parchment paper, baking paper, and so you put it on and you put it in the oven. The temperature, the degree, I couldn't tell you. I think I usually do roughly gas mark 6. Check it in 10 minutes. Usually it should only take about 15 or so minutes to get it cooked to temperature, but just check the temperature before you eat it. And then once it's done, it'll look absolutely beautiful. You'll sprinkle it with some sesame seeds to give it that nice little touch. If you didn't use all the teriyaki sauce that you have made, you can put in a bowl to be added to rice or the noodles or whatever else you're going to be serving with it. And then you can also use it as like a dipping sauce as well, but you don't want any of that sauce that you're going to use for dipping to touch the raw chicken, so you keep some of that in the pan for afterwards. I think that's about it. So this hopefully is the finished product of some chicken teriyaki skewers, and I did make some rice. If you don't know how to do that, YouTube that. Now we want to challenge other YWAM bases, so at the very least YWAM Derby, YWAM Cambridge, YWAM Kiev, and I'm sure we'll tag a few others. We ask you or your staff to create a dish and post it on, and to tag other YWAM bases. We want to expose the relationships, the connections, but also the food, the different cultures, the people that are on our base, and the uniqueness that God has created all of us.